Welcome back. Last episode we got introduced to most of the main characters, all of the main characters, and learnt a little about their personalities. But we haven't gotten too far in yet, so let's continue. My voice is also a little raw today, so please excuse me if I sound a bit different to usual. A lot of recording. There seemed to be different cliques, even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Lena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry! Lena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of destitute plebeian. Well, that's a bit rude. Why don't you just show it to us? Come now. Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start. At first, this was kinda embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. Let's eat. The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. He was just going on about how there were different genders and he's literally the only boy. Of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today? My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch. My, how delicious. Oh, this taro is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile. I saved some from dinner last night. By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like Mum's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold, they were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing! Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. Oh ho 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 ho. That's nothing for you to boast about. Lena's actually better at cooking than I am. Huh? Well, you know. It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Lena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Lena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Lena's lunchbox constantly. Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good, I hope. I hope. It's got high marks from me. Ah, Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Nika-chan reached over at the same time and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Lena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kinda bad that no one thought to leave any for Lena. But Lena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. How did you like it? Even Lena-san. Isn't Lena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san. I said that's nothing for you to boast about. You're not much different from Kei-chan, Satoko. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? One's green and one's white. Satoko's face went pale. Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know? Of course I can. I really can. It's really hard for her to lie. Keiichi-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too. Lena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko. Well, just pretend it's a little home ec lesson. Now then, Satoko, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon. But that's asparagus. Mion made eye contact with me, and within 3 seconds, I had Nika-chan's mouth covered. There's little typos in this. Holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her 2 choices. She's pretty terrible. The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower. So which? Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is, Do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal. I do know. I really do. Then answer the question. I know. Ooh-ah! She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. Oh, cute! Lena entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Lena was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile. Lena! Mimi is picking on me. Ooh-ah. Cute! It's okay. Lena One-chan will take care of all those bad people who tease my little sister. Whish, boof, bam! It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Lena's fists shot out at supersonic speeds, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today, she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Lena. See, Satoko-chan, I took care of them. Cute. I want to take you home. Making sure Lena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Tisk, damn it all, using Lena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance. Hey, Keiichi-kun, tomorrow do you have plans or anything? Huh? It was such a direct question from Lena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Lena saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood, and turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that, you see. So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Lena's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way? Huh? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Mi-chan! Phew. Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see. This old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Huh? What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach, while Lena flailed about, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Lena's hair. Kidding, sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. Huh? A joke? Since when? Huh? About halfway through. Halfway? So, Kei-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start? Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see... Saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavourable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Lena? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Lena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school. Yes. So you see, tomorrow, we were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around. That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. They really just say scamp. Keiichi-kun, you're not free perhaps? Perhaps? While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Lena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me. I apologize. I'm free. Great! The trepidation disappeared from Lena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Lena, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her, compared to how quickly I agreed with Lena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Lena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Lena. Maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? Whoa, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Maebara. It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Lena? If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe. Maybe. Don't you ignore me too, Lena. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. Kablammy. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow is going to be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun, Mii-chan, bye. Lena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've been sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Lena want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion, you're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee though. Lena doing Muay Thai. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Lena. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Lena's infallible technique. Ooh, we have chapter endings. You have received new tips. We're a mixed grade. We don't have a uniform, ? Alright. Let's take a look at these. What is this? Let's have a quick look. So Lena, we're the same age. Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal too. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. Ha 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 ha. What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi-kun? I'm July. Lena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Heh, don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind you if you bet $1 per month. What does that mean? I don't understand that sentence. Same. Huh? Huh? Why? Lena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just, sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun, I can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan. Right on. Too bad, Lena. I'm already far older than Lena. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. How do you snicker through your nose? Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk, heh. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? So then her birthday is either Jan, Feb, or March. If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. What's an underclassman? Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me. You took the words right out of my mouth. Just by seeing Lena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it though. Then Satoko and Nika-chan are underclassmen. What is that? What grade is that? We don't use those terms. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Keiichi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. Ooh, I think. What? You're not making any sense yourself, Lena. Can we move on from this topic? That's really weird. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. What? Oh, stop it! Well, that was weird. Oh, there's more. I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services after all. What? When she says it like that, it makes sense. Why are they renting a school from the forestry services? I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel. There are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station? Okinomiya. Turn at the hospital and head towards the pediatrics department. That's a lot of big words. What? So far? I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Lena's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with Lena on this one. Yes, that's right. That's a lot of rights. Let's try our best. All of you, try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Kei-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It is just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Alright, that was weird. We don't have a uniform. Let's head in. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping, mee, mee, and at night there are mosquitoes. I miss the sound of the Higurashi. It's very summer. It might as well be summer already. June is summer. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare! Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl. Keiichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season and, ew, how steamy the crotch gets. How do I unread that? It gets steamy. How? This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Oh, no words. Nana's summer clothes have a nice refreshing colour. I feel cooler just looking at them. I'm not sure how that works that way, but okay. Ah ha ha ha. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Lena's. But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. Star. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. How? I had a feeling that Lena and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why, yes, Mion-san supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then? That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. Why? I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. It's cosplay, bro. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. Oh, gosh. This is heading somewhere awful again. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion-san says it'll be a big hit and become a great store. With such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit? I don't get it. Alright. Continue. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Nena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Oh, we're in weekend clothes. Nena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Ahahahaha. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Nena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Nena really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Nena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? All right. I am a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Nena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Nena we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess. When Nena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. She struggles with 2 kilos, really? I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Nena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. The boonies, really. The inaka. No slovenly desk jockeys drudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mayabara-kun, I believe? My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passers-by even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that it's that Mayabara fellow who just moved here. Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. What is a lech? I have never heard that word. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai, me too, and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. Okay. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. Ah. You know the names of everyone we pass by, and even their profiles. Seeing my surprise, Mion and Lena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city, where people hardly know their neighbours. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? Ahahaha, you're Keiichi Maebara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers. Didn't you? What? That's enough. I don't want to know. Boxers. Enough of that. Apparently, there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Indeed. Wait, what? That's a typo. Hinamizawaza. Hinamizawaza was not a place to be trifled with. That's an unfortunate typo. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. Same diff. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. I see this suffers from the usual strange translation where things kind of make sense most of the time, but sometimes you're like, wait, do we really word this sentence in this way? It's a bit confusing. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking. So the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who'd just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way. "Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day." "Oh my, Maebara-kun. How wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. The dream. How are you? Getting used to life here?" Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Lena and Mion, they gave me a wink. Only Mion is winking. So, now then. About time to have lunch, maybe? Lena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. Oh, come on. You can eat it. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Indeed. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. If you can't eat all that food, I'll do it. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Lena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Ooh-ah, yes! Good idea, I agree. Lena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Hey, it's the shrine. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. Furude Jinja. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Ah, isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? Never. The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there. Various coloured lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Nena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know. Surprise! Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan. To power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place was my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours. It's a shrine. Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really? Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan too. Nena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you all to have this hamburger. Huh! Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle. Blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves, Satoko appeared to have the upper hand. But the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah! The last meatball! Satoko Hojo has been bested. Nom. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. This took a turn. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. Okay, it was almost like flowers were floating all around her. What? Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. Indeed, this conversation is going places. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. Dun 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 dun! Alright, we have reached 45 minutes again. We're going to end episode 2 right here. Alright, so today's question. Which is your favorite location in Hinamizawa? I'll never forget that typo, it was amazing. Which is your favorite location? There are many, and I love all of them. It's certainly an interesting city. Anyway, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you again next time. See ya!